Afternoon, David.
Hi there.
Just wanted your reaction to the draw this afternoon.
I've actually just seen it. I was in doing some work there and came out and they showed me the draw. Good. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's some good teams in it. I think we've had quite a difficult draw in our group, but no, looking forward to it.
Anderlecht a bit of a standout for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, we'll go back. We stayed in Silkeborg last night, or the day before I should say. So we were up there, so we know the level of the games we're going to get in Denmark was tough, the one we had. We also know that going to Bucharest is not easy either. I've been there before, so never easy, but anyway, it's great to be in it and exciting times once again.
And good trips for the fans as well?
Yeah, in the main, the distances are not too far, so I think it's really important that the supporters can try and get to the games relatively easily and hopefully relatively cheaply as well.
Those two qualifying games against Viborg, those qualifying games can be quite tricky at times, but did they almost come at a right time for you to be able to give time for players coming back from injury and also to integrate some of the new signings into the squad?
Yeah, definitely. I think to give the new boys a chance to get playing with us and us to see a bit more about them. Look, there was a lot of games. If you weren't in it, you'd have had League Cup ties, which we saw most of the Premier League teams have, and all the clubs will be using the players that maybe not started yet. A lot of their new players will be getting minutes. So the playoff for us was really important, and we wanted to get through. We wanted to be in the group stages, so we couldn't take much chances. We went strong enough in the games, but thankfully the players got us a really good result last night, which got us through.
One player that stood out probably was Gianluca, 2 starts, 2 goals. Is he knocking on the door now for a start on Sunday?
He has been knocking on the door for a while. I think is getting him, not just his fitness and getting him ready, it's getting him ready for Premier League football. No, it's a big change, so we have to try and look at him and see where we think the right games to play him at the moment, when we think the right opportunity comes around. But certainly we feel as if we've got someone who we're looking forward to working with for a long time. So we don't need to rush him, but is he getting ready? Yes, getting much closer to fitness now.
Does he want to be rushed though?
I think all players want to be, but I sense that there's a lot of players who come in want to have a chance to look at it and see it and find out exactly how the team play and what we want them to do. So that can take a little bit of time as well.
Now, new transfers. What's the latest situation with Lucas Paqueta?
Probably I'll learn as much from Sky as I do from anywhere else. So the truth is we're waiting on more information. I know we've made a second offer for him, and we're hoping to try and get a deal. But at the moment, I've got no more update for you.
What sort of qualities does a player like that, or can a player like that, bring to your side?
Do you not think that would be a better question after we've got him, if we do get him? It's something no point in talking about a player at another club while we've not got MD.
I'll make sure I ask you after that then.
Not a problem.
Does, though, being linked and making bids for a player of his calibre just show the ambition of the club and also where the level that West Ham's at right now?
We've really tried to be incredibly ambitious all through the transfer window. The board, the club, all the staff here, we've really tried to be ambitious and get good players. We think we've got that, we really do. We're trying to just pull it all together and get it sort of working. But we think we've brought in some good players. We just need a little bit of grace to try and get them all going in the one direction.
And with the transfer window closing next week, is there still room for improvements to your squad? Are there areas you're looking to improve on still?
Well, we've brought in a lot of players at the moment, probably more than I'd really want to bring in. But I sort of mentioned it last week to my reasons why I thought the changes had to take place. I thought we needed to try and move on. We had to slightly break up what we've had, and we're trying to do that again. We're trying to build another good team at the moment. But will we do any more? I'm not sure. Not sure yet.
I saw a report yesterday that so far in this summer transfer window, there's been £1.5 billion spent by Premier League clubs, more than any other season, and obviously there's still a week to go in the transfer window. I just wanted to ask you why you think so much has been spent this summer.
Well, I think the prices are dearer. I think sometimes Sky up the price instead of making it correct, but it's only my opinion. So getting the right prices is really important, because when you put the prices out of the cost of the players, I think that just makes it. We're all trying to spend the money wisely, as correctly as we can. I think there's been a lot more money about at the top level to spend, and the challenge for the teams to be at the top is so big. The quality of the players that some of the teams have signed is so good. So it makes it another difficult Premier League season.
Can I ask you what way you think Sky upped the value or upped the values of players?
I can only give you what I've seen from our players, and I know the prices we were actually doing. So, maybe they just don't have all the correct information and the correct prices.
Fair enough. And last one for me. Looking forward to Sunday. Team news. Is there an update?
We're getting people back fit. I don't think we've picked up any injuries from our midweek encounter. So, hopefully we'll all be ready to go again. And
Kurt Zouma, was it good to get him some minutes last night?
Yeah, well, he's had plenty of minutes at the moment. We just felt that we wanted to give him a little, turn his legs over for a while and get him back out there, yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Alice from PLP.
Hi, David. A comprehensive victory and a clean sheet, of course, last night. How much of a boost can your players take from that ahead of Sunday's trip to Aston Villa?
Well, I hope we take lots of confidence from last night, because there was lots of good things. Obviously, we're getting goal scorers again, and scoring's a big thing. So there was some good signs, but again, as I said before, we're sort of piecing little bits together at the moment. We're trying to pull the team back together, and we've got a really difficult game at Aston Villa. We really have.
Yeah, it's a big game, of course, for both sides. Of course, the table's still very much taking shape in these early stages, but we've seen how much one positive result can change momentum. You look at Manchester United, for example. With that in mind, how important is it that you kickstart your season at Villa Park if you can? It's
hugely important. We'll do everything we can to get started. We want to play well. We want to win, and you need good performances to get results. And at the moment, our performances haven't been good enough to get the results. So we need to up our performance level. And look, I said a few times, I'm beginning to see signs of it improving. I hope that we can continue to do that.
Yeah, why do you feel that performances haven't been quite where you want them in recent weeks?
I think partly due to us not getting everything maybe quite ready. I also think that we've lost our centre half, which we bought to come in, and we lost Craig Dawson as well with an injury. We've not quite had Angela Agbona ready after a cruciate ligament, so we've suddenly found ourselves probably in all the games, even at the moment, with makeshift sort of backlines. So I think that has played a big part in it as well.
As for results then, is it a case of just getting that first point or that first win on the board and then building very much from there onwards?
I think we have to look at it that way. But also the challenge is for us to keep aiming at the top. That's what we want to do. But at the moment we've got a job to do. We've got to try and win the next game, which is always the most important thing. And we'll try and do that at Villa.
Yeah, when I spoke to you a couple of weeks back, you said your aims for the season as a whole, I know it's still very early days, are towards the top 6, potentially the top 4. Is that still very much the aim right now?
I wouldn't see any reason why we wouldn't. I think we've got a group of players who can do that, and we'll aim to try and make that happen again.
As for Aston Villa, what do you make of their start to the season, and what are you expecting from Steven Gerrard's side on Sunday?
I think Aston Villa have got a really good side. I've been saying for a few years, I think they've bought good players. I think they've got a good team. I think they've got some really talented players at their club. So I think Villa will have a good season. I've got no doubt about that. But we have to try and go there and win ourselves. So we'll see how it goes.
So they're all tough games, and it doesn't get any easier. You've got Spurs and then Chelsea looming on the horizon. With that in mind, how much of a reaction do you feel you want from your players this weekend to take forward into those games looking forward?
Well, I can't think about them until I get this one out of the way. Got to do the Aston Villa game first. So first and foremost, concentrate on that. Try and get a good victory. Try and get a good performance, which I've mentioned would be good. So that's our first aim.
Finally from me, this time next week the transfer window will be closed. How do you think you'll be feeling then? Will there be maybe a sense of relief that you know who and what you'll be working with for the rest of the season, at least until January?
A little bit, I think we will. I think we'll all be pretty glad when the sort of madness behind the scenes stops. But overall, we're getting our group put together. It's taking a little bit longer than we'd like, but quite often, if you look at the history of teams in the UK, a lot of the transfers are done late. That's why we have a a day on Sky with yellow ties and all the stuff on transfer day, and everybody quite enjoys it. But hopefully we'll be ready, and once we get everybody signed up, we'll get things going again.
Do you enjoy that madness?
I think a little bit, but not. I've had a lot of last minute deals, I should say, but ideally it's not the way you should do it. Ideally, hopefully you're planned and organised, but it looks like us Brits don't do that quite as well as maybe some of the other countries.
Okay.
Brilliant, thank you, David.
Thanks,
All the best
Alice.
for the weekend.
Emma from BBC.
David, so back in Europe again, which means you've got at least another 6 fixtures on top of everything else. Are you looking forward to that? To being busy again?
Very much so. Very much so. I mean, I'm complaining a wee bit about the Thursday Sunday because I know that the difficulty it can bring, but overall, I'm really pleased that we're back in Europe again. 2 years in a row for West Ham to be in Europe. The supporters getting a chance to go abroad, get to games. And after the journey last year, I think they'll have a lot of sort of hope that we'll do something similar again. I hope we're able to do it. We've actually got, I would look at a pretty difficult draw probably in the group at the moment, but we'll see.
I've seen a suggestion recently that Premier League managers have a lot of pressure, and the suggestion is that maybe some of them actually need that pressure in order to do their job successfully. Would you agree with that theory?
Yeah, I think we sort of, you need the pressure, you need the sort of adrenaline rush which you from it. But I've got to say it's a tough job for the Premier League managers. I've done over 1,000 games now, and it puts in a lot of effort and a lot of work into it all. But I think that when you're being successful, which means more games like European games, means more preparation, getting your teams ready, more work to prepare yourself for it. So it takes a lot out of you, and that's why we've just got to be careful that we don't overdo the players, and obviously the managers as well. The managers need to have a bit of break from it as well.
It's interesting you saying you as a manager you've managed over 1,000 games. This will actually be West Ham's 1,000th game in the Premier League. You haven't been here for all of that.
No.
You must be incredibly proud of what you've done during your time here.
Look, I'm really pleased how we've brought the club on over the last 2.5 years. I think that if you said to me this when I came in, I'd have said, "Nah, you're kidding on. I don't think we'll do as well as that." But we've really knuckled down. We've kept at it. The players have been fantastic, and the club as well. I think the club have grown with it as well, and I think we're trying to be one of the big clubs. We want to be a big club in the transfer market. We want to be a big club with the amount of supporters we bring into the stadium. So we're doing a lot of things really, really well off the pitch. The club does brilliant work in the community, really does in the East End of London. So I think there's a lot of things which are going well. But ultimately, what's really important is the results on the football pitch drive it all, and we need to make sure that we get those results better.
Yeah, I know you said that you don't want to look any further forward than the Aston Villa game, but as it's already been mentioned, after that it is then Tottenham, then Chelsea, then Newcastle. So the opponents don't get any easier. So I wonder when a slow start starts to feel like more of a cause for concern, depending on how you've done in those games.
Well, I think all those teams will be saying we've got West Ham to play. That's not an easy game. It's not been an easy game for the last few years, and hopefully we continue to make it that way. So there's another side to it, but yeah, we have to get our performances better, to get our results better. And I actually think the Premier League's got at such a level now. There's hardly a game in it where you would say, this looks as if you've got a chance of winning. I've not thought that for a long time, but certainly recently I think it's become much more competitive, and the games are all very close.